Ever felt like you're trying to build a connection with a Sigma female only to hit an invisible wall? It's not you. It's likely one of her 9 unspoken deal breakers. These aren't just preferences. They're non-negotiable boundaries. And once you cross one, her respect disappears. Instantly. So if you've ever wondered why a Sigma woman suddenly goes quiet, this might be your answer. Sigma females are built different. They don't chase attention. They don't need validation. They move quietly but powerfully. And the truth is, respect isn't something they ask for. It's the foundation they stand on. In today's video, we're talking about what Sigma females don't always understand about themselves, and why their need for deep respect often becomes the line that separates connection from distance. Because here's the thing. For a Sigma woman, losing respect for someone isn't just emotional, it's personal. Once it's gone, it's almost impossible to get back. See, people often misunderstand Sigma females. They think she's cold, detached, or hard to read, but she's not. She's just deeply selective about who gets access to her peace. The real challenge: many people break her trust without even realizing it. Tiny actions, small inconsistencies, things that might seem normal, but to her, they're red flags. And once she spots one, she's out. Not angry, not dramatic, just gone. Okay, now it's time for the main talk of today's videos. 9 things that quietly kill a Sigma woman's respect for you. Let's start with 1. Chronic inconsistency between words and actions. Say one thing, do another. That's all it takes. Sigma females value alignment. If your actions don't back your words, she'll quietly file you under unreliable and never look back. For a Sigma female, trust is not built through promises. It's built through patterns. She listens, yes, but she watches more than she listens. You can say the right things, use the right tone, even show emotion, but if your actions move in a different direction, she sees it instantly. She doesn't confront right away because she doesn't need to. She just notes it, stores it, and starts to emotionally detach. For her, inconsistency feels like dishonesty dressed up in charm. It's not just confusing, it's insulting. Because when you say one thing and do another, you're basically asking her to question her intuition, and that's something she will never do. Sigma females trust their instincts above everything. They've learned through experience that people reveal their true intentions through behavior, not words. So when someone's behavior keeps changing, she stops listening to the words altogether. And it's not just big contradictions that bother her, it's the little ones. The small promises broken, the casual "I'll call you later" that turns into silence, the apology that comes with no changed behavior, the "I care about you" that fades when things get inconvenient. To her, inconsistency equals instability, and instability makes her feel unsafe. Not physically unsafe, but emotionally. She can't relax around someone whose energy shifts with the wind. She can't respect someone who can't even respect their own word. Because to a Sigma female, your word is a reflection of your self-discipline. It shows how much integrity you carry when no one's watching, and that matters to her more than charm, looks, or status. People often mistake her detachment for being cold, but it's not that. It's protection. Once she spots inconsistency, her guard comes up naturally. It's like her system knows, this isn't steady ground. She won't start an argument or demand an explanation. She'll just stop investing. You'll notice her tone get calmer, her text shorter, her energy distant. That's not attitude, that's her peace taking over. She doesn't believe in begging for effort. She won't try to convince you to mean what you say. If she has to ask you to follow through, she's already lost interest. And the reason is simple. Alignment is her language. She believes that when someone truly respects you, they show up with consistency. Not perfection, but effort. They do what they said they'd do. They mean what they promise. And they keep showing up, even when it's not convenient. That's what earns her respect. Once someone breaks that alignment too many times, she doesn't argue. She doesn't attack. She exits. Quietly. No closure. No second round. Because for a Sigma female, inconsistency isn't a mistake. It's a message. And once she receives it, she never forgets. If you're nodding along and getting this, hit that like button. It helps me know you're following. 2. Avoiding hard conversations. Sigma females aren't afraid of truth. What they can't stand is emotional avoidance. If someone can't handle real talk, they won't waste their time pretending everything's fine. For a Sigma female, communication isn't just about talking. It's about being emotionally honest, even when it's uncomfortable. She's not looking for perfection. She's looking for presence. She wants people around her who can handle the weight of real emotions, who can sit through tension without running away or shutting down. When someone avoids hard conversations, it signals weakness to her, not because they feel scared, but because they choose comfort over clarity. And clarity is sacred to her. She'd rather have a 10-minute raw, honest talk than a lifetime of fake peace. Avoidance kills connection faster than conflict ever could. When a Sigma female senses that someone keeps dodging serious discussions, whether it's about feelings, boundaries, mistakes, or accountability, she feels alone, even in the relationship. It's not about drama. She doesn't want to argue. She just wants truth in its simplest, purest form. But when someone hides behind silence or fake smiles, she starts to pull back. She loses trust because she knows growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. She believes that real love, friendship, or partnership requires emotional maturity, the ability to say, "This hurt me," or "I need to talk about what's not working." When someone avoids that, she sees them as emotionally unavailable. She knows life isn't always pretty. People make mistakes. Words get messy. Feelings get loud. But she also knows that honesty builds respect. So if you can't handle that raw honesty, you can't handle her. A Sigma female will never beg someone to talk. She might give a chance or two, maybe gently nudge the conversation, but once she realizes the other person can't face discomfort, she mentally checks out. And when she checks out, there's no coming back. She believes silence is a language too, and when someone chooses it instead of truth, that silence tells her everything. She's done pretending things are okay when they're not. Avoiding hard conversations isn't peace. It's delay. It's the slow death of connection. Sigma females understand that talking about uncomfortable things doesn't break relationships. It strengthens them. It shows courage. It builds trust. So when someone constantly avoids emotional confrontation, they're telling her they value comfort more than connection. And that's something she can't respect. To her, growth means being brave enough to face your own emotional mess and work through it. And she expects the same level of bravery from those around her. Because honesty doesn't scare her, lies wrapped in silence do. When she feels someone's fear of truth outweighs their care for the relationship, she stops investing. No shouting, no guilt trips, just quiet withdrawal. She doesn't want perfect communication, only real communication. Because to a Sigma female, avoiding hard conversations isn't protection, it's neglect, and she refuses to build any bond on top of avoidance. 3. Minimizing or laughing off disrespect. Jokes that sting, subtle digs, she notices, and she won't argue about it, she'll just check out. Her silence isn't weakness, it's self-respect. A Sigma female doesn't overreact when someone crosses the line. She observes, she notes, and she adjusts her distance. People often think she's chill with everything because she doesn't explode, but that's where they get it wrong. Her calmness isn't agreement, it's evaluation. When someone makes a harmless joke that cuts deep or says something that feels dismissive, she might smile politely, but inside, she's already rewriting how she sees that person. She's not the type to call out every micro-disrespect. She doesn't have to. She believes energy reveals itself over time, and she pays attention to every tone, every word, every little dig disguised as humor. For her, respect isn't optional, it's the baseline, and when someone minimizes or mocks her feelings, she doesn't debate, she detaches. Because in her mind, if you cared, you wouldn't joke about what matters to her. You wouldn't make her boundaries a punchline. You wouldn't call her too sensitive when she's just being real. Sigma females don't do emotional theatrics. They don't beg for kindness. They just leave. Quietly. You might not even notice at first, Fewer texts, shorter replies, less eye contact. But that's not coldness. It's her protecting her dignity. She knows what it feels like to be around people who can't handle her depth, who try to downplay her truth because it makes them uncomfortable, and she's not doing that again. When someone tries to laugh off disrespect, she doesn't correct them, she corrects her access. Because she knows that every time you let someone get away with disrespect, you teach them how to treat you, and she refuses to be anyone's lesson in self-worth. Her self-awareness runs deep. She knows how to tell the difference between playful teasing and subtle control, between humor and humiliation, between genuine laughter and a power play. So when someone crosses that invisible line, she might smile, but in her head, the connection is already ending. Disrespect doesn't have to be loud to be real. It's in the way someone interrupts her mid-sentence, ignores her input, or uses sarcasm to dodge accountability. Those tiny moments tell her everything. And the thing about a Sigma female is, she never forgets patterns. She remembers who made her feel dismissed, and she never gives that energy a second chance. People often say she's too serious or can't take a joke, but what they don't understand is that she's not uptight. She's aware. She knows the difference between laughter that connects and laughter that cuts. And once she feels disrespected, even in jest, she's done trying to explain why it hurt. She doesn't crave understanding from someone who lacks empathy. She just leaves with her peace intact. Because to a Sigma female, respect isn't negotiable, and if someone has to make her small to feel big, they'll lose her instantly. 4. Over-explaining and seeking permission. Sigma females don't need validation, and they're not giving theirs away easily either. If someone keeps asking for reassurance, it makes them feel like that person doesn't trust their own voice, and that's something they can't connect with. A Sigma female moves through life with quiet confidence, not because she thinks she's better than anyone, but because she's learned to rely on her own judgment. She doesn't need constant approval to feel right. So when she's around someone who over-explains every choice or asks permission to simply exist, it feels heavy. It drains her. She respects people who stand firm in who they are, who can make decisions without apologizing for having needs. But when someone keeps explaining themselves, keeps asking if it's okay to speak, to go out, to rest, to feel, she feels the imbalance instantly. It tells her that person is disconnected from their own center, that they've learned to shrink to stay safe. And while she understands the pain behind that, she can't build closeness with it. Because for her, strength isn't about control, it's about self-trust. She doesn't need someone perfect. She needs someone grounded, someone who says, "This is what I think," and stands by it. When a Sigma female sees someone constantly apologizing for existing, she starts to pull back. Not out of judgment, but because she can't carry the weight of their uncertainty. She's spent too long building her peace to babysit someone's self-doubt. And here's the thing. She doesn't over-explain herself either. If she says no, that's it. No long essays, no guilt. She respects clarity, not justification. So when she sees someone who feels the need to justify every move, it signals insecurity, and that's something she can't align with. She doesn't need to be convinced to respect you. She just needs to see you respect yourself. Over-explaining tells her you don't. It tells her you care more about being liked than being understood. And that's dangerous ground for her, because she doesn't build relationships on approval. She builds them on truth. When someone says, "I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure it's okay," over and over again, she starts to feel trapped in their uncertainty. She's not looking for control. She's looking for partnership, equal energy, shared accountability. So if she senses that someone keeps shrinking to fit, she'll quietly step back and give them space to grow without her. It's not cruelty, it's respect for her own boundaries. She knows that until a person stops needing permission to be themselves, they can't meet her where she is, and she won't lower her frequency to make them comfortable. Sigma females move with autonomy. They honor their time, choices, and energy. They're drawn to people who do the same. Over-explaining and seeking permission might seem polite, but to her, it's a signal of fear, and fear can't build connection. Because to a Sigma female, self-trust is magnetic and self-doubt is noise. She'll always choose peace over pity, clarity over approval, and confidence over constant reassurance. Seriously, I want to know, have you ever avoided a conversation with someone and it backfired? Comment below, share your story, and let's keep this real. 5. Being overly available and self-abandoning Sigma females respect independence. If you drop everything just to please her, she won't see that as love. She'll see it as a lack of boundaries. What many don't understand is that a Sigma female admires people who have a full life, their own rhythm, their own goals. She doesn't want someone orbiting around her world. She wants someone building alongside her. When a person becomes too available, too eager, always saying yes even when it costs them peace, she feels the imbalance immediately. It's not flattering to her, it's unsettling. Because deep down, she knows that kind of devotion often comes from fear, not genuine care. Fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. And Sigma females can sense that energy like radar. They can tell when someone's giving from love versus when they're giving from desperation. The difference is obvious. Love feels calm, grounded, and secure. Desperation feels anxious, fast, and heavy. A Sigma female doesn't want to be anyone's escape. She doesn't want someone who treats her like a goal or a project. She values connection, but not at the expense of identity. If she notices that someone starts neglecting their friends, dreams, or hobbies just to keep her happy, she loses interest quickly. Because that's not partnership, that's self-abandonment. And she knows that people who lose themselves for others eventually grow resentful. She doesn't want that energy near her. She's worked hard to build balance in her own life. She's been the person who gave too much before, and she's not repeating that cycle. So when someone keeps showing up at her door every time she breathes, replying instantly, rearranging their life to fit hers, she doesn't see commitment. She sees codependency, and that doesn't make her feel loved. It makes her feel trapped. She thrives on mutual respect and space. She believes that distance, when healthy, keeps two people growing instead of suffocating. A Sigma female admires someone who can say, "I can't see you today, I've got things to handle," and mean it. That's attractive to her. Responsibility, not availability. She doesn't need constant presence to feel valued. She needs consistent integrity. Being overly available tells her that a person's boundaries are weak, and weak boundaries create weak connections. She doesn't chase that. She doesn't reward it. She simply steps back and lets them find their balance, and if they don't, she moves on. No guilt, no speech, just quiet acceptance that not everyone can match her pace. Because for her, love isn't about merging into one life. It's about walking side by side, both people still whole. A Sigma female doesn't need saving or fixing, and she won't save or fix anyone else. She needs respect, honesty, and space to breathe. So if someone thinks being endlessly available will win her heart, they've misunderstood her entirely. To her, real love doesn't demand your self-abandonment, it demands your self-respect. 6. Low effort and mixed signals. Sigma females pick up on energy fast, half interest, slow replies, maybe energy. They're not chasing it. Consistency is what keeps them engaged. When someone gives low effort or sends mixed signals, a Sigma female instantly knows something's off. She doesn't overthink it, she just watches the pattern repeat until it tells her everything she needs to know. Because to her, effort isn't about grand gestures, it's about presence, showing up when you say you will, following through on words, paying attention. When that consistency fades, her respect fades with it. She's not impressed by excuses or empty promises. If someone says they care but their actions feel lazy, she registers that as truth. Sigma females don't cling to potential, they respond to reality. And the reality is, when someone's energy is half there, half gone, they stop feeling safe. They stop trusting. They stop investing. Low effort communicates indifference, and indifference is poison to her respect. Mixed signals especially are something she'll never tolerate for long. One day warm, the next cold. That emotional whiplash is chaos to her peace. She reads between the lines effortlessly. If she senses inconsistency, she assumes the person isn't serious and moves accordingly. She doesn't chase explanations. She doesn't demand clarity. She just matches the energy, quietly lowering her effort until it's gone. People often misread this as detachment, but it's actually self-protection. She's learned that someone who truly values her will make things clear. No confusion, no guessing games. Sigma females admire directness. I want this. I don't want that. I'm not sure, but I'm figuring it out. That kind of honesty builds trust. What destroys it are those in-between signals. Sweet words one moment, cold distance the next. She doesn't romanticize confusion. She sees it as immaturity, and she won't waste time decoding behavior that doesn't make sense. When she feels like she's being tested or toyed with, she mentally checks out. Low effort also shows up in simple ways. Cancelled plans, distracted attention, one-word replies, no real curiosity about her life. It's not about being clingy, it's about energy exchange. She gives depth, and she expects the same. When that energy isn't reciprocated, she stops sharing. Sigma females don't beg for connection. They expect reciprocity. When someone can't meet that, she knows they're not on her wavelength. The truth is, she doesn't need anyone to be perfect. She just needs them to be clear. Clear effort, clear intentions, clear communication. If that's missing, the bond collapses before it begins. And once she feels that drop in effort, she doesn't announce it. She simply withdraws. The calls slow down. The emotion fades, and by the time the other person notices, she's already gone emotionally. Because to a Sigma female, low effort and mixed signals aren't minor issues. They're signs of instability, and she doesn't build where foundations crack. She builds where effort is real, energy is steady, and respect is mutual. If you're learning something new here, subscribe to the channel for more insights on Sigma females. You don't want to miss the next points. 7. Poor hygiene and sloppy presentation. This isn't vanity, it's about self-respect. If you don't take care of yourself, she reads that as, I don't care about much, and that's a deal breaker. A Sigma female doesn't expect perfection, designer clothes, or expensive grooming. What she expects is effort, intention, pride in presentation. Because to her, the way you take care of yourself reflects how you think, how you live, and how you value your energy. She pays attention to the small things: clean hands, neat clothes, a fresh scent, good posture, a clear mind. It's not about being fancy, it's about being grounded and awake. When someone shows up sloppy, careless, or unbothered about their appearance, she feels the disconnect immediately. It's not the outfit that turns her off, it's the energy behind it. If you can't respect your own reflection, how can you respect her presence? Sigma females notice when someone looks tired, unkempt, or detached from themselves, not because they're judging, but because they understand energy maintenance. She knows self-care is a reflection of inner order. When someone consistently shows they don't care, it signals imbalance, maybe laziness, maybe emotional fog, maybe complacency. Whatever the reason, she can't align with it. She's drawn to people who wake up and show up, people who value how they move through the world. And that doesn't mean designer clothes or flawless makeup. It means awareness, clean energy, a sense of self. She respects people who take time to look put together because it means they care about how they show up for life. It's about discipline and self-respect, not ego. A Sigma female doesn't judge someone for having an off day. She gets that. Life gets messy. But if she sees a pattern of neglect, body, mind, spirit, she knows something deeper is off. She believes how you treat your space, your body, and your routine tells her how you treat your priorities. So when someone constantly looks like they've stopped trying, it signals that they've stopped caring. That's not something she can build with. She thrives on mutual effort, mutual respect, and mutual pride. When someone keeps showing up with the bare minimum energy, she starts to fade out emotionally. She'll still be polite, still be kind, but she's gone. Because her attraction isn't just physical, it's energetic. It's about how alive you are. Poor hygiene and sloppy presentation tell her you're not present in your own life. And that's a turn-off no matter how charming your words are. She doesn't care if you have money or status. She cares if you have self-awareness. If your energy looks neglected, she knows your discipline probably is too, and she won't try to fix it. She's not a healer for people who've stopped showing up for themselves. She's a mirror. She reflects the same level of respect she receives. So if someone wants to earn her admiration, they don't have to impress her. They just have to respect themselves enough to look like they care. Because to a Sigma female, self-care isn't vanity, it's character. 8. Dishonesty, especially the small lies. Little lies kill trust faster than big ones. To Sigma females, honesty is the baseline. If someone can't be real about the small stuff, they'll never make it to the deep stuff. A Sigma female has a sharp intuition. She can sense dishonesty long before it's spoken out loud. She notices shifts in tone, tiny inconsistencies, strange pauses, and mismatched energy. And once she feels something's off, she starts watching everything more closely. It's not paranoia, it's pattern recognition. She's learned that small lies often expose big truths about character. When someone lies about where they were, what they said, or how they feel, even in harmless ways, she reads that as a lack of integrity. To her, truth isn't just about facts, it's about respect. If you can't be honest with her, it means you think she can't handle the truth, and that's insulting. She'd rather hear something uncomfortable than be fed something false. She doesn't need the truth to be pretty, she just needs it to be real. Sigma females don't chase answers, they observe them. And once they spot dishonesty, it creates distance that can't be undone. She might not call it out immediately. She'll stay quiet, but she'll change how she engages. Her tone softens, her questions stop, her interest fades. Because once trust cracks, she doesn't try to glue it back together. She's seen too many people talk about honesty while living behind masks. She doesn't hate liars, she just refuses to be close to one. Even white lies bother her. The "I'm fine" when you're not, the "I'll call later" that never happens. The fake compliments, the half-truths, the selective honesty, they all feel the same to her. Weak energy. A Sigma female values people who own their truth, even when it's messy. I messed up. I don't know. I changed my mind. That kind of transparency earns her trust more than perfection ever could, because she's not looking for flawless, she's looking for real. Dishonesty, even in small doses, destroys that foundation, and she doesn't rebuild once it's broken. When someone lies to her face, thinking she won't notice, she feels insulted twice. Once by the lie, and again by the assumption that she's blind. Sigma females don't scream when they're lied to. They don't need to. They just disappear. The silence after dishonesty is her closure. She won't warn you. She won't chase you. She'll simply remove access and protect her peace, because honesty isn't negotiable to her. It's survival. She's been through enough to know that lies are how chaos enters calm spaces, so she guards her truth fiercely and expects the same from those around her. If someone can't be real about the little things, she knows they'll crumble under the big ones, and once she sees that, she doesn't explain, argue, or forgive repeatedly. She just walks away quietly, choosing truth over attachment every single time. 9. Letting sexual closeness replace emotional clarity is a trap a lot of people fall into, but Sigma females see right through it. They value deep understanding, genuine connection, and emotional honesty above all else. So when intimacy is used as a shortcut to fix issues, it immediately raises red flags. It's easy to assume that physical closeness can smooth over misunderstandings or tension, but for a Sigma female, sex is never just a band-aid solution. She can feel when it's being used to cover up a lack of emotional engagement, and it doesn't take long before the respect she has starts to fade. She doesn't respond to gestures that are meant to distract from unresolved problems. She responds to clarity, direct communication, and authenticity. If she senses that her partner is relying on sexual intimacy to bypass hard conversations, she'll quietly check out emotionally. This doesn't mean she's cold or unfeeling. It just means that she prioritizes emotional alignment over fleeting physical satisfaction. Sex without clarity doesn't create trust. It creates confusion, and a Sigma female knows the difference instantly. If she feels like intimacy is being weaponized to manipulate her or make her ignore her own needs, she'll notice, and it will impact the way she perceives the relationship. Emotional clarity is about understanding each other's feelings, expectations, and boundaries, and when that is missing, sex alone can never replace it. She wants a partner who communicates openly, who doesn't rely on physical gestures to compensate for emotional absence, because that's the foundation of real respect. She notices when issues are swept under the rug or when important conversations are avoided in favor of temporary closeness. Even if she engages physically, she can tell if her partner isn't emotionally present, and over time, that creates distance. Sigma females are intuitive. They can sense energy, intention, and motive, so if sex is used as a shortcut, they perceive it as avoidance. Avoidance signals that her partner isn't fully invested in understanding her needs, or the relationship itself. This subtle but powerful disconnect erodes trust, and once trust is gone, respect begins to crumble. If you're thinking that intimacy alone can maintain a strong bond, think again, because for a Sigma female, it can't. Emotional clarity is what sustains respect, connection, and admiration. Sex is an expression of closeness, not a substitute for it. She wants her partner to engage, to communicate, to clarify feelings, and to take accountability for the relationship's emotional health. When that is missing, even the most passionate physical connection can't make up for it. She notices, she reacts, and she protects her energy by pulling back when intimacy replaces clarity. If a Sigma female feels that sex is being used as a tool to dodge emotions or skip important conversations, respect will vanish. She values depth, honesty, and genuine emotional presence above all, and anything that undermines that will cost you her full respect. So the rule is simple: never let sexual closeness replace emotional clarity. Keep communication real. Stay emotionally present, and understand that intimacy only works when it's paired with truth, connection, and mutual understanding. But here's the hardest truth. The single most critical mistake you can make with a Sigma female is chronic inconsistency between your words and your actions. It doesn't matter how charming you are, how confident you seem, or how much you think she likes you. Even small mismatches between what you say and what you do are like tiny cracks in a wall, and for Sigma females, they add up fast. She notices every little thing: the promises you forget, the plans you don't follow through on, the casual excuses you make. It doesn't matter if you say all the right things or use smooth talk. If your actions don't match your words, respect disappears instantly. For Sigma females, respect isn't something that comes from compliments, gifts, or even grand gestures. Respect is earned through reliability, honesty, and complete alignment between what you claim and what you actually do. She can see through any pretense or attempt to manipulate the situation with words alone. If you're inconsistent, she'll sense it immediately, even if she doesn't say it out loud. It's like an internal alarm goes off, and her mind starts questioning not just your reliability, but your intentions. Ignoring this truth is dangerous because once respect is gone, attention and emotional connection vanish just as quickly. Sigma females are drawn to people who show up fully, who prove themselves over and over through consistent behavior, and who honor their commitments without reminders. If you fail at this, it doesn't matter how interesting or fun you are. She'll pull back and invest her energy elsewhere. Now, let's recap what all of this really means. Sigma females thrive on respect, honesty, and clarity. They are highly sensitive to inconsistency, mixed signals, dishonesty, avoidance of hard conversations, and over-explaining. All of these behaviors chip away at the emotional connection and erode trust gradually but surely. If you want to keep a Sigma female engaged, the rule is simple: Align your words with your actions, respect her boundaries, and communicate with clarity and integrity. Be someone she can count on, someone whose actions reinforce their promises, and someone who honors her independence without trying to control her. When you do this, respect and connection flourish naturally. If you've noticed any of these deal breakers in your own relationships, I want you to share your experiences in the comments below. Seriously, your stories matter, and they can help others understand these dynamics more deeply. And hey, if you're curious about how Sigma females maintain strong relationships even under pressure or stress, check out my next video. I promise, it's full of insights you won't want to miss. Watching it will give you practical tips on building lasting connections while respecting their independence. So take a moment, comment, and then watch the next video to see how this all applies in real-life situations. This stuff isn't just theory. It's the reality of how Sigma females operate, and understanding it can change how you approach every relationship with them.